Aaron Rodgers.
Mike, you're not helping. You're not helping because I just read earlier exactly what I said. So, and this is the game plan of the media, and this is what they do. They try and cancel.
A do-your-own-research guy.
Does that have something to do with the Epstein list that came out?
A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't.
A loyalist to conspiracy theorists.
He mentioned ivermectin being horse-based and pushed that whole narrative for a long time. He gave a platform to one of the biggest spreaders of misinformation during the COVID times, Dr. Fauci.
Which led to this.
There's a lot of great clinics and, the alphabet gangsters who control a lot of the medicine, I say that very loosely, that gets cleared, aren't exactly on board with, giving a lot of clearance to some of the stuff.
And this.
I enjoy reading. I read studies about this. I've read books. I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s book about Fauci is incredible. I know RFK Jr. personally.
And this.
I've been taking monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, zinc, vitamin C and D, HCQ.
And this.
When you step into this, you personally, when I'm talking about you, when you stepped into this realm, you were the number one anchor at the number one show nightly, and the stuff you were taking on, and then the way that you were ousted there, and then you go to X, and you're the interviews you're doing, the numbers you're going, then you go and interview Putin. Like, you're putting yourself in harm's way. And I commend you, just like I commend Bobby Kennedy.
Quick sidebar for Aaron and many others. Tucker Carlson may or not be handsomely paid by Russia. There was a direct reference in the indictment that outed Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin, Tim Pool. You saw this story. And, well, it referred to a well-known U.S. political commentator visiting a grocery store in Russia. Do some research on that one if you can.
Much of those. What about you, though? Because you did one of the most controversial, somehow, not to me, most controversial interviews in the last, I don't know how long, when you went to Russia and did Putin. How did it feel coming back? Because, like, anybody who watched the interview was like, number one, it was awesome. Number two, Putin came off as an interesting, thoughtful, smart individual.
As it pertains to the Jets quarterback?
CNN has learned that in private conversations, Rodgers has shared wild and unhinged conspiracy theories in which he claims that the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting was not real. CNN knows of two people with whom Rodgers has shared these views, including CNN's Pamela Brown. In 2013, when CNN's Pamela Brown was covering the Kentucky Derby, she was introduced to Rodgers. Hearing that she was a journalist at CNN, Rodgers began attacking the news media for, quote, covering up important stories. Rodgers then brought up the Sandy Hook shooting and said the news media was intentionally ignoring that the shooting wasn't real, that it was a government inside job.
Yeah, that one. So Aaron Rodgers was voted the most annoying player in the National Football League, only ahead of his arch medical rival, Travis Kelce. Odell Beckham Jr., who is not playing a down, at least as of right now, for the Miami Dolphins. That one's shocking. Patrick Mahomes, maybe, possibly because of the recent news with his wife, Brittany. Not sure. Actually, it could be prior to. Because Jackson Mahomes, Brittany Mahomes, we see their, the charades that go on game day. And then Dak Prescott, which I'm confused by. I'm honestly confused by 3, 4, and 5 as I'm looking at this. I understand Kelce. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And it largely has to do with his rise, his ascension in popularity, with a very, very successful show with his brother, him being in a ton of commercials. So they feel like, NFL fans probably do, that it's just too much. It's overdone. And then the third is obviously the NFL putting Taylor Swift on game day broadcasts, although it actually shows she's only on there for like 28 seconds, 42 seconds, but to a lot of people it feels like forever. So that's probably why Travis Kelce is number 2. So it's based off success, is what it feels like. The Action Network would write, off the field, no one irritates fans quite like Aaron Rodgers. The Packers quarterback, former, topped the list as the most annoying player, with 27% of respondents naming him the most frustrating NFL personality. The sentiment cuts across different age groups and fan bases, but older generations are especially vocal about their dislike for Rodgers. And in fact, 43% of Bears fans, perhaps predictably, given the Packers-Bears rivalry, name Rodgers their least favorite player. Well, duh. So is it least favorite or most annoying? Colin Cowherd would react to the results on his show, quote, I've always had this thing with Aaron Rodgers, and fans are like, Colin, it's just you. And an Aaron thing. And officially today, it's not. He'd add, Aaron did not used to be like this. Aaron was not annoying when he came into the league. That was not who Aaron was. He was cool. He was fun. He was cocky. Kind of cocky. But he replaced Brett Favre. It was kind of cool. And then Brady and Manning pull away. He becomes stats obsessed. And then Cowherd would say, and hit the nail on the head here, and then COVID hits 4 years ago. And as Brady and Manning start moving into broadcasting and corporate America and dealing in the media and working for the media once again, Aaron has to be different. And he becomes anti-media, anti-corporate America. If Brady, Manning, and Aaron were compared traditionally, he finishes third in the GOAT discussion. So he creates a new measuring stick. I'm not a shill. I'm not corporate. I'm anti-media. I believe in conspiracy theories. I largely agree with most of that. Let me also be clear about this. Years ago, many years ago, Mina Kimes had a really good write-up when she was writing for ESPN. She still does, but features, like strong, lengthy features, like the Wright Thompson style features for ESPN.com. And she went and interviewed Aaron, and she talked about how he really is a smart dude. Like he talked about many other subjects outside of football and his interests. He recorded the entire conversation because he doesn't want something to be taken out of context. Like, she also asked him, because it was at its peak, about the predominantly black workforce in the National Football League taking a knee to protest systemic racism and police brutality. It was the bare minimum, I do admit. The bare minimum. But he said that he agrees with it. Couldn't get that out of a lot of players. So, you have that guy, and we wrongly characterized him as being something that he is not, because we can all relate to this. COVID happens, right? And something that has occurred to me, and something that has occurred to you, and something that you have seen the transformation of, whether it is a brother, a sister, aunt, uncle, mom, dad, grandparent, friend, associate, boss, coworker, mutuals, what have you. COVID changed people's brains. And we saw a dark side of a person that we did not envision, that we did not see previously. Aaron Rodgers is that person. The difference is he is in a position of power in the number one market in the country and worth over $100 million easy. So when you have all those factors, your public platform comes with great responsibility. It's the Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility. And he did not act responsibly. What he did was go on a rampage of misinformation, disinformation, attacked Dr. Anthony Fauci, attacked COVID protocols, attacked the vaccine, said that the best way to treat it is hydroxychloroquine and zinc. He, instead of going with medical experts, went with Joe Rogan. He backed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because he liked a book he read. He made an appearance, I believe, on the Pat McAfee show where he had Ayn Rand behind him. These are missteps. And what makes him the most annoying player is that he will not own it. He feels like he is a big do-your-own-research guy. And the problem is us, not him. So he will go on conspiracy theorist show after conspiracy theorist show after conspiracy theorist show and be surrounded in an echo chamber. And when someone disagrees with him online, he is public victim number one. And he cries out cancel culture. He's still getting a huge paycheck by the New York Jets when he is clearly over the hump. He cries out that, his voice is being muted. Meanwhile, he's still on McAfee's show. That's what makes him the most annoying, is the fact that he will not own up to his mistakes, and he will double, triple, quadruple down over and over again to prove that he is right, and we're just tired of it.